Hey everybody, Sergio with the Rideshare Guy. Welcome to another episode of Behind the Wheel. So we had run a survey on our community page on our YouTube channel and asked drivers what their acceptance rates were on Uber and Lyft. So the results were pretty much what we expected, but there was a segment of drivers that checked the box between 80% and 100% acceptance rate. So, on the last episode of Show Me the Money, we were talking about this subject, and I said, whoever has anything close to 100% or 100%, please get in touch with me. I want to interview you. Well, here he is, Jeffrey from San Jose, California. Jeffrey, welcome.
Hey, thanks, Sergio. Appreciate it.
Yeah. So introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about yourself, what you did before, and how you got into Uber, how long you've been doing it, all that good stuff.
Okay, so my name is Jeff. I'm from San Jose, and I do part-time for Uber and Lyft. I have a full-time job, a top 100 companies, so in the Bay. So I do this on my part-time basis. The reason why I got into this is because I moved to California, and when you move to the Bay, everything is so expensive here
Yeah.
that you have to my other job uh, pays the bills, but it doesn't leave me much left over when it comes to having vacations or paying for student loans and stuff like that. So I got into Lyft and Uber, and that's pretty much why I started. I started in 2019 with Uber Eats, and then did Uber Eats pretty much through the pandemic, and then stopped probably for a good 2 years. And then when I moved back, I mean, when I moved to the Bay, when I took this full-time job here in the Bay, I moved here. I you just have to have a part-time job when you live in the Bay because it is so expensive to live here. So
Yeah, I don't blame you. I mean, I think though you are the prototypical Uber driver these days, or what I think people should do, like to have a good W-2, paying the bills, taking care of healthcare, all that good stuff. But as we know, with inflation, right, what has happened
yes,
to our, I mean, cost of living is out of control.
yes.
Specifically in the Bay Area, we know it's probably the most expensive part of the country. And, people have gaps in their regular incomes. And then, I mean, this reminds me of actually the original days of Uber. You know what their slogan was? Put your side hustle on, right?
Yes,
So, I mean, that's it. That's you, right? So you have
yes.
your W-2 and then you can get out, make a few $100 a week and doing what you do, which I think is perfect for your situation. Now I kind of am putting the picture together, but I want to hear it from you. So what kind of car do you drive, by the way?
So I drive a 2021 Honda Civic, four-door. Yeah.
Okay. You said you're a part-time driver, so give me some color on how many hours a week you drive, how many trips you've done, and etc.
Um, so I drive about between 25 and maybe 30 hours a week, depending on what's going on during the week. If I feel like doing it after my normal 9 to 5, I will do it during the week, but I pretty much do it on the weekends if there's nothing going on or wife says, hey, nothing's going on, then I'll usually do it Saturdays and Sundays and sometimes Friday night.
Okay,
So
so you're in San Jose. IT tech is pretty strong there, obviously.
yeah.
And I mean, is your regular W-2 in that space or
Yes, I work for, yes, an IT company, very
okay.
huge IT company.
Okay, cool. So you do have an IT background.
Yeah.
And so out of the 25 to 30 hours or whenever you think it's busier, whenever you can maximize your earnings, right? So you tell me, I don't know. I mean, I'm fascinated by drivers who have very high acceptance rates, specifically with what I'm seeing as far as pricing of the trips are concerned, right?
Yes.
It's one thing, I mean, yeah, it's one thing I can understand. You have limited time, limited amount of hours a week. You're going to do this. You can't sit there and cherry pick for 10 hours because you need to have the wheels turning to bring in the cash, right?
Correct.
So
Yes.
is that the reason you're doing?
Yes, pretty much. Yeah. I mean, I have to have the wheels turning, so I will accept whatever as long as long as it doesn't take me. So if I want to stay, let's say I want to stay in San Jose
Okay.
for let's say I work from like 4 o'clock in the afternoon till 8 o'clock at night, but I don't want to leave I don't want to leave San Jose, or
Yeah.
I don't want to leave the surrounding area. San Jose is a big city.
Okay.
So you can pretty much go from one side of town to the other side of town, and it could be a 30-minute ride,
Okay.
right? So it's a big city. So if I stay in San Jose, then I will cherry pick, but I'm very, if it's just let's say it's less than a mile ride, let's say it's a 0.9,
Yeah.
I will take those because that's easy money for me to get, and generally it's $4.32 or $5, depending on the time and whether or not there's a surge. If there's no surge, it's like $4.60 or something.
Yeah. Oh,
But that's easy, $4.60.
okay.
And if I'm only going a half a mile, well, okay, I'm going a half a mile. I can
Okay.
pick up another ride, and it's just back to back to back to back.
Yeah. Do you have upfront fares where you drive? So you're seeing the destination?
Yes, we do have upfront fares. So
Okay.
I know exactly where I'm going, and I know exactly where I'm ending. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so that's one plus, obviously. Um, but our community is going to push back on this, and so
Yeah, I know.
I'm going to be the voice of the community. I'm going to ask
Yeah,
you,
I know. They're going to say, well, why is he doing that? I mean,
yeah,
he's
because they're going to say,
killing
you know
it.
what they're going to say? They're going to say, if it's drivers like you, okay, I'm just playing devil's
No,
advocate
hey,
here.
listen, I get
It's
it.
drivers like you who are giving Uber and Lyft carte blanche to lower the fares. We should
Yeah.
never put any human in our car and drive them even half a
No, you're
mile
right.
for
I
$4.
get it. If I was doing this on a full-time basis, I would get the gripe. I would get where you guys are coming from, and I would probably be a little bit more cherry picking when
Yeah,
it comes to, but this is not my full-time job.
yeah,
And listen, if as long as I'm not, I'll take the ride just as long as it doesn't take me out where I don't want to go. And
okay,
then and that's pretty much it. I will go if I'm doing it for a full day, I will go wherever. It
yeah,
doesn't matter. I'll just pick the rides.
yeah.
So, but
But
then
do
I'll
you?
start cherry picking on Saturdays and Sundays, and I'll be like, no, I don't want to do it.
Yeah,
And then that's why my acceptance rate is 93% and not
yeah,
100.
yeah. Well, so do you like give me a typical day of Jeffrey when you're driving, right? Like on a weekend, let's say you're gonna drive 10 hours on a Saturday, right?
Right.
And like what is the typical day like? What shifts do you
So,
work? Do you work the drunk hours?
Saturday,
What do you do?
yeah, yeah. So I will usually start if it's Friday night. Let's say it's Saturday morning. I will start at 3 a.m.
Okay.
and I will start at 3 a.m. and I will go till probably, I don't know, 2 or 3, depending on where I go.
Yeah.
And um, at 3 o'clock in the morning, everybody's getting out of the bar. I'll just go to downtown San Jose, pick up people, and
Yeah.
then starting at 4 a.m. It's usually airport runs, usually either to San Jose or San Francisco. Majority of the time, it's to San Francisco. If I
Yeah.
go to San Francisco, then I will stay. I will stay in the San Francisco area. Like I'll go to Palo Alto. I will go to Millbrae. I will go there and I'll stay around that area for a while, and then generally I just start picking the rides to, and then from 8 o'clock on, then it's people who are working during the weekend that are trying to get to work, and then after 9 o'clock is usually when somebody wants to either go long distance, or they want to go to San Francisco, or they want, and then yeah, and then generally it takes me to San Francisco, and then generally San Francisco will take me to Oakland, and then it will take me to Fremont, And
Yeah.
then, so I go in a big circle generally.
Okay. So when you're driving, your regular shift, right? Do you get out with like a dollar goal in mind? Like, okay, I want to make a couple $100 today or whatever.
Yeah. So if I go from like 4 to 7, I will do, I will do like $150. And then once I make 150, I'm done.
So in
Whether
three
or
hours,
not,
in 3 hours, you can make $50 an hour and $150.
yeah, yeah.
Well, how do you do that when you're accepting $4 trips?
Because I'll do those $4 trips back to back to back to back to back.
Well, you can't do 40 of those in three
Well,
hours.
right. No, you can't. But
Okay.
then you'll get long trips.
Okay.
Like I said, you go from San Jose, from one side of San Jose to the other side, it's like $15.
Okay.
So I mean, it's always, but I will do those $4 trips back to back to back,
Okay.
and then generally do a long trip. But if during the week I won't leave San Jose,
Okay.
or I'll go to Palo Alto, and then that will be the max, and then
Okay.
I'll come back.
All right. So I asked this question to everybody I interview on Behind the Wheel. So give me two things you like about driving Uber and Lyft, and give me two things you dislike about driving for Uber and Lyft.
Um, I enjoy doing it because I get to talk to people and I get to associate with people. My job, I'm to myself and other than going into meetings, so I don't get to associate, and I'm an at-home person,
Okay.
so I don't go in office. So I get that socialization that I like. What I don't like is how bad Uber has kind of taken away the amount of money that you can make on a consistent basis.
Okay. Well, I mean, you're making $50 an hour according to the look.
Well,
I haven't
I,
compared his
I
numbers,
use the
so
Solo
I'm
app.
taking his
So
word.
right. So I use the Solo app. So I am making right now,
Oh, that's good. Okay, for
I
everyone, listen to
use,
this man. He's using the Solo app. He can compare his results with other drivers in the area. So Solo app is one of our affiliates, go to solo.com and sign up. Most of it is free. And it gives you a whole bunch of additional stuff, right? For your taxes, keeps
yes.
track of your miles, expenses, all that good stuff. So,
So right now my hourly income is $30.28.
okay.
So and they say that the Bay Area average is $19.65.
Okay. So you're doing better than most.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you been always obviously look, you're part-time. I can understand what you're saying. I have 20 hours to drive. I'm gonna make the most amount of money I can make. I don't care what the trips are.
Right.
Although I know it's ridiculous, it shouldn't be $4, but then I'm only gonna do 20 hours. And in 20 hours, if I make 25, $30 an hour, that's 500, $600 extra a week. I take
Correct.
that's why you're at 100. But if you were doing full-time, would you still be accepting 100% of the trips, you think?
No. I would be definitely cherry picking for sure.
Okay. All right.
Because I get it why full-time drivers cherry pick is
Yeah.
because why take that ride when you can just sit there 5 minutes or 2 minutes later and get a completely different ride,
Yeah.
and so yes.
Okay. So no, I do understand now why, because I interviewed another gentleman from Lubbock, Texas yesterday who has literally 100% acceptance rate. But his thing was like he does it full time, but he's in a small town, couple 100,000 people. And he goes, if I'm going to work 40, 50 hours, I got to take everything to make the amount of money I need to make to survive. So there is no, to each their own, right? I
Right.
mean, to me, whatever works for you is working for you. If you're in this, all cities are different. Everybody's circumstances are different. You just can't go like, oh, why are you not? Why are you taking those $4 chips? I mean, look, listen to the man. He said what he said. Um, so I mean, you said you have a W-2, right? How
Right.
long do you think you're going to do Uber and Lyft? As long as you can, or
Well, my main reason is because I want to pay off my student loans of $80,000.
what
So
happened? Biden didn't write it off for you?
no, No, I don't work in public. I don't work in public schools and stuff like that. So
Okay.
no, I work for a for-profit company. So no, Biden did not write it off for me.
Sorry
So
about that.
no, it's all right. I mean, $500 extra a month for student loans is but yes, until I pay my student loans, and then I will probably cut back a little bit. But I am like, listen, this is I enjoy talking to people. I even did octopus. I even did the octopus probably I signed up for it and got my tablet like a couple weeks ago.
Okay. So there's
And
more free money coming your way on that one.
exactly.
See, Jeffrey is perfect for me. Jeffrey does solo. We advise everybody to download the solo app. We talked about Octopus, which is free money. Literally, they send you everything for free. You just have to set it up
Yeah.
and people play with it. I mean, he may make an extra
And
25
you
bucks a week or
even
so.
I was looking for a dash cam. I even went with Display Ride.
There you go.
I actually got Display Ride, was it yesterday or the day before? So
Yeah, enjoy it. It's a cool little camera. You don't have to
yeah.
meddle with you don't have to meddle with SD cards, uploads,
No, you're
downloads.
right. You don't.
Yeah. And see what I like I was just going to ask you that like yeah, you drive for me if you're driving even 10 hours whatever it is, you must have a dash cam these days, right?
Oh
So for
yeah,
your
for sure.
safety,
Especially in the Bay, people drive like they're going like they're Mario Andretti going 100 miles an hour. So
yeah. Yeah. I mean, no, I see Jeffrey is doing everything we tell drivers to do. So, few other things. So you're gonna keep doing it until you pay bulk of your student loans.
mhm.
Do you, obviously you're a smart man, you're in, working for a major company, you know your numbers. Do you look at your numbers in detail, like after a shift or on a weekly basis, monthly basis? Do you know what
I look at it on a weekly basis.
okay, do you know your cost, obviously, right, to
No,
operate
you know, I haven't got down to my cost. Even though the Solo app, I try to put all my expenses in the Solo app,
yeah,
and manual do it, but no, I don't know my cost. In
okay.
fact, I would like some help with that.
Oh,
So,
okay. Well, no, I mean, there's something called cost per mile, right?
right,
Because because then you can figure out what your true cost is. There is variable cost, there is fixed costs such as your insurance, right?
right.
There's maintenance, I mean, like when you bought the car, the Civic, was it 2021 you said?
Yeah, it was
All
brand
right.
new.
What did you buy new?
I did. I bought it brand new.
Okay. And then
But at that point in time, I was not doing Lyft or Uber. I was just, yeah. And I hadn't moved out to the Bay yet. I was actually in North Carolina at that
North
point.
Carolina. Okay. Well, how many miles, let's say, you put every week on your car? I mean, doing Uber and
Probably,
Lyft. It doesn't have to be precise, but that's how
probably,
you can figure
I
out
would
your cost.
say 400, 300.
400?
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, I mean, then you have, with gas and everything else, we know how expensive gas could be, which is a variable cost. So I'm giving you
right.
a little tutorial here now. So
Yes,
your expenses on a Honda Civic with depreciation, right? Because it's a fairly new car, you're probably running at like 50 cents a mile or so.
probably.
And so then, if you're driving 300 miles, 400 miles a week times 50 cents, which includes your gas and everything else, then you're like a couple $100 out of what you make is your expenses. And then you can figure out, am I working for free or not working for free? So when when you're at 100%, right? I fully understand what you're trying to do. Okay. But would you be open to working a little differently, like just for an experiment purposes, or are you just going
Yeah,
to?
absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. I'm game to change up if it's going to help. Absolutely.
Yeah, because the hours you're working, I mean, do you like study the markets, like when it surges, where it surges?
Yes,
Because
I
surge is
do.
your bread
I
and
do.
butter.
It generally surges here after 4 o'clock in the afternoon in San Jose
Okay.
because Meta and Face or Meta and Oracle and Apple all get out. I mean, everybody leaves probably between 4 and 6 p.m. So
Okay.
that generally, I mean, those are the huge main companies
Okay.
that I usually pick up for. So yes, there's generally surges between 4 and 7
Yeah. So what I would
in
suggest is
certain
like
areas.
for a couple days, maybe for 1 week's worth of driving, you
Okay.
do your 100% 1 week, right?
Okay.
Put your numbers aside, and then the next week, just try to, I mean, obviously you have a job, so you have a schedule, you have a
Right.
family. I'm not telling you to change your life to make an
No,
enormous
no, I know
income.
what you, yes.
All I'm saying is like you can probably make more money by being a little bit more picky, right?
Okay.
I'm not saying like full cherry picking, but be a little bit more picky as
Okay.
opposed to because surge is like not a mythical creature, right?
No, it isn't.
It is supply demand, right?
Right.
Dynamic pricing. So like if you do a surge trip, the same trip that you accept for 4, it may pay you 8, right? So you're just going to
Right.
drive less miles and make a little bit more. Maybe you would be good because your market surges. So maybe you'd be a good candidate for like maybe 1 week's worth of experiment. I mean, if you make
Yeah,
less, then you go right
absolutely. I
back
would
to
be
what you're
willing to
doing.
do that. Sure.
Yeah, try it out and keep me
Okay.
posted with that. So we have a few minutes remaining, right? Obviously you're doing it for paying your student loans, get some money for extra vacation a year or whatever it is, which is that's what I personally think. This is not a career. Full-time driving is ridiculous. Nobody should drive full-time because the money is not there. And
Right.
you're gonna basically wear out your car and your back to a pulp, and
Yes.
then you have nothing to you basically use your car like an ATM machine, you know what I mean?
Yes.
So but in your case now I fully understand, and once we release this, by the way, you're going to get some hate, okay?
I know. I figured that.
Yeah, so but
And
look, to each their own, man. We're all adults, we make the decisions, we make our bed and we sleep in it. So
exactly.
I couldn't care less about what people think of the way I drive or why I take
Yeah.
all trips or
It,
whatever.
it doesn't bother me. Listen, it's paying my student loans and it's less money that I have to come up with or work overtime for and 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 yeah, it's paying my student loans and it's giving me extra vacation. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I couldn't agree with you more. And so I'll give you a couple of minutes in closing, right? Give our audience some advice. It doesn't have to, I mean, it could be rideshare advice, obviously, but it could be life advice. It could be, whatever you think, floor is yours. Give us some advice.
um I would say to treat everybody with kindness. This world is full of haters and this world has changed. So be kind to people, and be nice is what I'll say.
Yeah.
And
Well, there you go. I mean, here's Jeffrey from San Jose, California. Well, are you exactly at 100% or are you like
no,
below?
I'm at. Let me see. I can tell you exactly right now.
Oh, you do decline a tip or
I
two.
think I sent you a screenshot. I think I was at
96, I think it was, or something like that.
eight. Yeah,
Yeah.
94.
94. Okay, you
Yeah,
dropped a couple.
I'm at a 5-star rating, satisfaction rating of 96%, acceptance rate of 94, and 1% cancellation.
All right. So you have declined a few, it looks like.
I have declined a few when I've accepted it and thought, no, I'm not doing it. Forget
Uh,
it. I'm not going. No, I'm not going. Forget it.
yeah, there you go. So, all right. Well, Jeffrey, I appreciate you doing this. Thank you for the time. I wish you much success. Please keep in
Thanks.
touch. And most importantly, stay healthy and be safe out there.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks for watching this episode of Behind the Wheel on the Rideshare Guy. We've been doing these interviews for the past 6 months with very successful drivers from different cities around the nation. Click here for another episode. Make sure you subscribe and turn on all notifications for other episodes of Behind the Wheel as well as amazing content on our channel.